Oh my lord, are you picking up any of this AWA Upshot stuff? This stuff is awesome. Spider-Woman's back for some reason. Nobody asked for it. And in DC, we're about to get some death metal. All that and more. Let's roll that intro. Hey, what's going on out there, you wonderful weirdos? I'm Pocanjo, and as always, you're pretty cool for coming by. Hey, if this is your first time here, basically what I do is I buy a bunch of comic books on Wednesday, super early. I read them all as fast as I can, and then I come to you with little tidbits, points, what's interesting about them. Sometimes we'll touch on some philosophy, sometimes we'll touch on some psychology, but most of the time we're just talking trash about comic books, so welcome. So I got my notes. I don't have anything to drink, though, so we're just going to run this one dry, folks. Let's see what happens. So what happened this week in comic books? Let me set my notes up. So the very first thing that came out this week that I thought I just had to read was Spider-Woman, and I went with this variant because, let's be honest, ratio variants for a comic book character that nobody cares about just aren't worth it, and this proved my point. In this, they did stay away from a lot of the women are everything. They legitimately tried to stay away from it. But once again, we're finding out that she's a mother and her life is hard and she's trying to be a superhero and everything else, and it's starting to pile on her. So what's the easiest solution? Like, seriously, go get a job. Just stop heroing. Like that's how we do this whole thing. That's what I read. I was like, just stop being a hero. Go get a government job and make $65,000 a year and take care of your kid already. Like, who's watching this kid? So, didn't really like it. Kind of glad I only got the regular floppy for it. I didn't get too crazy. Although, that is a nice cover. I liked that one probably better than anything else. Moving on to Fantastic Four. So, we had a great opportunity here, and yet again, Marvel missed the point on this. Apparently there's no editors at Marvel anymore. Apparently they're all, suffering from corona or whatever. I don't know, because this is just bad. Like, you had this great, awesome fight scene you could have done. Instead, we talked it out and hugged it out with some dinosaurs because of some lady named Sky who's from another planet who came to Earth because the Human Torch is her soulmate, even though they're going to live in different apartments now. And let's be honest, Johnny Storm is already tired of her. Like, legit. Like, after 2 weeks, he's like, I'm done with this. It's kind of boring. And then he's like, okay, maybe I do like her. Like, seriously, this is a teen drama right here. This is not an action-packed comic book. It's starting to lose my interest, and I'm probably going to end up dropping Fantastic Four here pretty soon, which is sad because I really like the Fantastic Four. Moving on, Guardians of the Galaxy. All right, so some cool stuff did happen in Guardians of the Galaxy. I did not like this at the beginning where it's like everybody saying I am their name, like I am Gamora, I am Hercules, blah 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 blah, right? They did that, and apparently Groot was the only one that could talk normally. They carried that for a couple of pages to make some sort of point. I don't know. We get that things happened and Peter is supposedly dead right now. But instead of explaining it, whatever. But the cool thing about this book, and I'll go ahead and bring this up, is this is all dealing with self in it. So we got Drax, who's has visions of himself being the saxophone player. You've probably seen that in other comic book adaptations. We also get Moondragon, who sees herself after seeing a clone of herself and realizing that the clone was technically a better person. So that's really kind of messing with her ego. See where the psychology comes in? So now we got how you see yourself. Now we're dealing with ego. And then ultimately we're dealing with just absolute craziness when we start questioning ourselves and our place in the universe. This is also the first appearance of the Prince of Power. I don't know who that is. It was briefly done in here. And there's technically the first appearance of a team. Like, we got O'Hare and this guy. And apparently everybody wants to kill Rocket now. That's it. Deep meaning in this. It was really cool. Also, Gamora is trying to find herself of what herself means without Peter, which is, that connection. And what is she without Peter now that he's supposedly dead? But how many times has he died over the last few years? That's an interesting concept. I might have to go back and count that up. All right, so moving on. We got Unkillables. This is part of the Deceased line story. This is awesome. So, Vandal Savage, if you don't know, grabbed a bunch of villains and took them out to an island. And he especially grabbed Deathstroke and the Creeper because they have a healing component that keeps them from turning into zombies. So what happens when a zombie actually does attack them? And who's that zombie? It's Wonder Woman. She busts through the thing and just starts tearing the place up, and it was awesome. Mirror Master tries to get everybody to escape to catch up with our other heroes, Jim Gordon, several Batmans, and whatever. That part's not interesting to me. It was interesting to me to see the group dynamics with villains in there, and now they decided that they got to teach the kids how to survive in this new world that has just been created. Sometimes you need to do what you shouldn't do, and the best person to do that is the villain. And they had an epic moment in here where they had to mow down a bunch of zombies that were nothing more than people that children knew, like classmates. Oh, that's a rough one. Eventually, Mirror Master also turns into a zombie, and that's scary as all get out, that there's a zombie that can travel through mirrors. Like, they proved how scary that was in here. Creeper's finally settled down a little bit in this, and he's just not as annoying as he was before, which is better, I think. But still, ultimately, a good book. I'm enjoying this series. I can't wait for the next issue to come out. Very rarely do I get excited about the next issue. Speaking of books that I was going to drop, and this was going to be the last one until something cool happened, we got it in HeMan. So if you don't know, the anti-HeMan is going around. He's got to kill all the other HeMans and join the swords together, the swords of power. In this one, we finally meet the first HeMan, the original, the primal HeMan. And we kind of get this whole philosophical, how they understand how the reflection pool works, meaning they understand that there's other dimensions out there that are based off of them. I thought that was really smart writing, really good stuff. Also, Kaldor, who's Skeletor, he's in the anti He-Man universe. It gets complicated, but this issue was really good. However, if you're not keeping up with this, buying this issue alone, you'll get totally lost, and it's a waste of time. But it is a first appearance, technically, of a primal He-Man. So if you're a He-Man fan, you need to rush out and grab that. Let's see here. Batman number 91. Oh, man, this series is fire, son. Oh, my goodness, the good stuff in here. We got good Joker, like that good classic Joker that understands what's going on around him outside of everybody else. It's hard to explain. But we got that classic Joker that we really, really like. We also find out through his little allegory here at the beginning that he kind of knew what the designer was up to by setting up everybody for success so he could ultimately rule. So I believe his line was, the Jester, when asked, what does the Jester want from the devil? He said, I want to be the devil. And that's why he shot the designer. And the designer has his plans in effect. Enigma plays an important role in this because he has some verbiage at the end of it. I don't want to spoil it for you, but oh man, one of my favorite characters of all time is the Riddler, and now we get to see the Riddler really get into this storyline. I think it's going to be good. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Oh, and there's also another appearance of Punchline briefly in it. Moving on. So, as you all know, because of the first appearance of Punchline, I missed out on Year of the Villain Hell Risen number 3. But I was able to get the second print, so I'm caught up now. I read that, and then I turned right around, and I got this one too. So this is going to kind of lead into the whole death metal part of the universe now. The Batman Who Laughs and Perpetual are apparently teaming up, and they've had enough of Lex Luthor at this point, who's kind of turning into a whiner. We see an epic villain battle in here, which I absolutely enjoyed, and Lex Luthor was able to outsmart the Batman Who Laughs, which doesn't happen a whole lot, but leave it to him to have a plan up his sleeve. And Perpetua, knowing that he has Phantom Stranger locked up to unlock the cosmos and find out where our heroes are right now, this is going to be a pivotal issue here soon. I promise you that. So definitely pick that up before Death Metal so you kind of get caught up. All right, so what is going on? Where did this company come from? Like, I don't keep like on top of all the articles and news that happen in the comic book world. I just kind of just live it. And apparently this company came out. It's AWA, and they have a series, the Upshot universe. I've never heard of these people before, and my comic book store guy said they're brand new, like they just launched. And I was like, and I didn't do any research, so I'm sorry for that. But if you know, please comment down below. Let me know. How do I get more of these books because I don't know how long they're going to last in comic book stores with the coronavirus. Usually, new issues, stuff like this get cut pretty quickly to save money, and I don't want to see that happen. Also, if they have stuff in the past, I definitely want to read it. So I was only able to pick up two of their comic books that they released this week, and that's Resistance and Archangel 8. I'll be honest with you, these things are, I wish there was more. Oh, I think there was like another two or three that came out. Oh my lord, this is good comic book reading. This one right here, what happens when heaven and hell fight each other and one angel kind of wants to do his own thing? You get this storyline right here. And oh, the military aspect of it. A guy who's just an assassin. An angel kind of pulling strings in the background. Kill the body, twist and turns. Oh, so good. Such a relief to actually be able to read a comic book where you can have strong female character, who's a bad guy in this one, strong male character, who's not some guy who's just sitting around drinking coffee at a table, and actually see some action in a comic book. This was cool. I'll definitely be picking up some more of this. And on that same line, I'll be picking up some more of this. Resistance. Oh man, what happens when a pandemic hits the world? And the few survivors, the 5% that are able or immune to it or whatever the case is, or they get superpowers because they're immune to it. And we see people that develop superpowers from this. They built an entire world right here off of one instance. And I don't know, maybe 24 pages. It was really good. And to be honest, a lot of what happened in here, a lot of the reasons why this thing happened, it's kind of mirroring what's going on right now. I don't know if that was timing. Like, I'm in the middle of writing a comic book. It takes forever. I can't predict that far in the future. If they did and they were able to whip this out that quickly, kudos to these guys. They're super smart. A big brain. If not, man, what a happenstance thing that ever happened. Either way, it is good, and I'm going to pick some more up of this as well, and I'm going to go back and try to get the other back issues of these other ones to see if they're any good. Did you read any of the other ones? Comment down below. Let me know if Hotel, I believe, was one of them, or Hell, I think is what they're called, Hot Hell or something like that. And then there was, I think there was like two other. If you know what they are, comment down below so I can find these things. I need to go out and find these because this comic book company is on it. Let's see here. Another okay read. I want to read some more, not because I thought it was a good story, but I am intrigued by it, which in most cases is just as good. Starship Down. So this is playing off of the whole Ancient Aliens. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. First off, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, that show's not accurate. Historically speaking, it's not accurate. Like me and some friends, we went through every season and looked up the historical facts, and we were like, no, we can actually explain that. So don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but they take a lot of the same concepts, like odd, very odd cave paintings that just depict very weird things, and they kind of threw it in here. I think some of them are actually mirrored off of that show. And then ultimately we find out that there's some aliens that have been trapped under ice in Siberia for like hundreds of thousands of years. It says thousands of years in the description, but given the fact that they have Neanderthals on board that are frozen, that would be hundreds of thousands of years. Regardless, it is good. Our male antagonist, or our female antagonist in this, she's super smart and she wants everybody to know, and she's legitimately cool. So it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh, smart girl coming in and saying a bunch of words. No, like somebody did their research and she sounds like an anthropologist, which is her job and which she should sound like, which was really cool. So I really enjoy that and I recommend it. It's not bad. Again, I want to see where it goes versus, oh man, people just don't catch a hint. I want to see where it goes. Sorry about that, but I don't want to edit today. I got a meeting later. I want to see where this goes, to see what the aliens are, to see what they look like, to see if they do some sort of twist where we're actually the aliens and Neanderthals were actually the people, or are they just going to go totally off key and make sure that they look like the Greys or something like that. I don't know. I want to see where it goes, so I'm intrigued. Wicked Things. So this came out. This is by Boombox. I had a few extra bucks because I didn't pick up as much as I normally do. So I'll give an issue one from a smaller company a chance. And I wish I flipped through it first. This is a kid's book. Super Sleuth here, the detective. Teenage girl detective. And I don't say that in a derogatory sense. Like, as far as the character goes, it was pretty legit. She's up for Super Sleuth of the Year, and apparently she gets framed for murder. As comical as that is, It's really not my kind of story. I could see where a young adult would like this, somebody in their teens. All right, I could see you liking this, and I highly suggest you should pick it up if you are that age. By the way, if you're that age, you shouldn't be watching this show. It's for everybody 18 and above. But hey, who am I to judge? And last but not least, something is killing the kids. So we had a little bit of action off the last episode or the last issue. And then we roll into this one. And this is a lot of narrative. What we find out is our main antagonist there, she's not very much liked at the House of Slaughter. That's kind of where all of her people hang out. Apparently they got some issues with her. She's a little bit of a rogue. Imagine that. So they got a little bit of a problem with her, so now they might have to do something to her. What that is, we're not really sure, but they definitely want her brought in. But she's chasing down monsters. Well, more particularly baby monsters, because the big monster she killed in the last issue apparently had 5 babies. So now she's got to hunt that stuff down too to help protect this little town out in the middle of nowhere. So that's my haul, and that's pretty quick. All right, guys, what'd you think of my haul? Comment down below. What books did I miss this week? I know there was a lot of independents out this week, and I just wasn't sure about something. So if I missed something, I need to go back to my shop and beat up my comic book shop guy to give me those issues. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to swing back by there and check those out. Also, check out some of our other videos. I know we were in Seattle during the Corona. We were at Ground Zero. I'm fine. I've been checked out, and I got to go get checked out in another week just because there's an gestation period. So right now, I'm okay. Other than that, hey, if you're going to be locked down, quarantined for a few days, you might want to get yourself some comic books. Let me know if you get any of these, or let me know what I should be on the lookout for next week. Other than that, there's no Comic Cons, there's no meetups, and we will do Blast or Stash It Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. Just type in Blast It or Stash It. Live chat where you can join into the room too. You can cuss us out, make fun of us, whatever the case is. We'll have a good time. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. You take it easy. Bye.